everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gretchen and today I'm back with another Booker Prize Longlist review, and today we're going to be talking about Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. Now, first and foremost, this was kind of a controversial pick to make it onto the longlist because this book is a follow-up to Orange's debut novel, which was called There. So what this book does is it gives you the origin stories of the family that is or a part of the family, I should say, that are main characters in There. So we get their origin, and eventually, as the origin story continues, we eventually catch up to those family members in There, and then we can carry on where their stories left off and spend more time with them. So this is one of those weird hybrid books where it's actually a prequel / sequel, and I absolutely adored this book. Now, I had read There first, so I am one of those readers that fully is aware that my enjoyment of this book was totally enhanced by my having read There, and I enjoyed that book as well. So if you're a fan and you've already read it, chances are you're going to really enjoy this book. If you haven't read There, you could technically read this book as a standalone because it does give you a good vague bit of understanding of what happened, but you're definitely going to get more out of this book having read that in the first place. And then of course, if you didn't like There, you are likely not going to enjoy this book. But basically, this book, it starts in 1864, and it takes place right after the Sand Creek Massacre in Colorado. And basically what happens, we have a Native American man, his name is Star, and he is captured by kind of like this evangelical man. He's a prison guard, and he forces Star to learn Christianity and kind of give up all of his Native American cultures. And he basically wants to turn him into a white man as far as his faith and his values go. And then we learn that Star ends up having a son, and we move on to the next generation, and his son, whom I believe his name, I want to say Charles. Yes, Charles. So we then move on to his son Charles, and he ends up in this institution that the man that tried to rid Star of all of his Native American ways, he ends up being in an institution that is run by him, and he once again is following in that same type of path that Star did, where we have this white man or this group of white men that are trying to basically obliterate everything they know about being Native American and the things that they hold so near and dear to them. And eventually, like, we get all of those stories, and we get to the point where we start to get the origin stories for some of the characters that we met in There, and ultimately we surpass the events that happened in There, and then we get a little bit of the aftermath and pick up where things left off there. So it's almost a little bit of an extension as well. And this book, it touches on so many things, and there are lots of themes in this book, and obviously a big one is generational trauma and what we pass on from generation to generation. And another really relevant one that I really, I don't enjoy the subject, but I really enjoyed my time spent when Orange was talking about addiction and how addiction really is impactful to everybody involved, not just the addict, but the family of that addict, and how impactful an addiction is and how many lives one one person's addiction can actually ruin. And I think that this book does an amazing job. I love Orange's writing as well. He has a very fresh voice to me. I never get tired of reading his books. He talks about really heavy subjects. He talks about really tough topics, but he does it in a way that is very raw and real, and I appreciate that. He doesn't try to sugarcoat things, but he does it also in a way that you would have the same type of conversation with a friend. He's not pretentious in his writing. It's normal dialogue, normal conversation. He's almost telling you just how he honestly thinks things are. He's not trying to put a spin on it for literary purposes, and I absolutely appreciate his books so much for that. Now, yes, I do love reading flowery books where you have the author, going out of their way to make a book beautiful and pretty and make the language flow, but there is something to be said about that blunt honesty of an author that is 100% real and just puts everything out there exactly how they would present it to the world in an everyday situation. And I love Tommy Orange for that. I would love to see Tommy Orange continue the stories of this family and this group of people in maybe a third book, but I'm really interested to see what he could do with other stories, and I'm hoping that maybe the next book that he comes out with is a completely different cast of characters and touches on, I'd like to see some of the same themes included, but I would like him to see him maybe branch out and cover some other ones, because although I really do enjoy his writing, it's very much in the same vein. The two books that I have read have really covered the same things. So I think with the next one, I'd really like to see him venture out a little. And then if that's something that he does well, maybe if he ever made it onto a Booker Longlist again, it would be a little less controversial because it would be for something that was completely new and kind of him stepping outside of the comfort zone that he has with this group of characters. So all in all, I love the book. If you were a fan of There, I think that you should pick this one up. And yeah, if any of this sounds interesting to you and you haven't read There, I do encourage you to pick that one up first. And if you gel with that one, give this one a go. And until we read again, bye.